Hey friend, did you know that in most states you don't actually have to show your ID just because an officer tells you to? I'm not talking about being rude or confrontational. I'm talking about understanding the law. The real law, not what some people assume it to say. The United States Supreme Court has ruled that the police must have what's called reasonable suspicion that you're involved in a crime before they can legally detain you and demand identification. That means they can't just walk up and say, "Hey, give me your ID," unless they can clearly say why they believe you've committed or committing or about to commit a crime. Now, a few states, often called stop and identify states, have specific statutes that allow officers to ask you for your name during a lawful detention. But even there, the key word is lawful. They have to first have that reasonable suspicion to stop you in the first place. So, what counts as a stop and identify state? States like Nevada, Ohio, and a handful of others have these laws on the books. But even in those states, you're not automatically required to hand over physical ID. Many times, simply giving your name verbally satisfies the statute. Outside of those states, you generally have no legal obligation to identify yourself unless you're being lawfully arrested, driving a vehicle, or in certain regulated situations like being on an airplane or in a secure facility. Simply walking down the street or filming in public doesn't create a duty to ID. Now, here's where people get tripped up. There's a difference between a consensual encounter and a detention. If an officer says, "Hey, can I talk to you?" and you choose to stop, that's voluntary. You can calmly ask, "Am I being detained, or am I free to go?" If they say you're free to go, you can walk away respectfully, quietly, confidently. But if they say you're being detained, you have the right to ask, "What is your reasonable, articulable suspicion?" They are legally required to have one. If they can't clearly state it, the detention is unlawful, and any demand for ID beyond that point becomes questionable at best. This is not about anti police, it's about pro Constitution awareness. Knowing your rights keeps both you and the officers accountable to the law, the same law that protects us all. So, here's your quick takeaway. You're not required to show ID unless you are driving, lawfully detained under reasonable suspicion in a stop and identify state, or being lawfully arrested. Anything else is voluntary. And if you ever choose to remain silent, say clearly, "I am exercising my right to remain silent and I do not consent to any searches." Then stop talking. Silence is often your strongest legal protection. Remember, calm, clear, and informed wins the day. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. You just have to know your rights. This is We the People Now, because knowledge isn't rebellion, it's responsibility. Stay aware, stay free, and I'll see you in the next one.